You haven't been home recently. What are you doing? And where?
I'm working. I've been busy lately, so I've been staying at a place nearby. Don't be all nosy.
Jim told me the news, so won't you come home?
What news?
Jim got a job. Now he has a job for when he graduates college. It looks like he got a job at a pretty good company, so I was hoping we could go out to celebrate.
Jim got a job? That's good news.
Right? So can you tell me when you're coming home?
Now you're no longer of any use to me.
What? What do you mean?
Thanks for looking after my son for 20 years. There's no need for you anymore.
No need for what?
Jim will be moving out now that he got a job, right? You can move out too.
I'm not following.
Why not? You were just in charge of raising Jim. Since I don't need you anymore, I'll have you move out.
So you make me do all the housework and child raising for 20 years? But the moment you find out Jim got a job and is moving out, you try to get rid of me?
Of course. You're of no use to me whatsoever.
That's a harsh way of saying it. So you just used me.
I have to take advantage of what I have, right? You're my wife, so I can use you however I want. I've used as much as I can use, so now you're useless. I can throw you out.
You always liked being the man of the house. I also worked, but you never did any housework.
That's exactly why. I'm supporting you.
Supporting me? You barely put in any money.
Don't complain. I work every day. I don't need to take crap from a part-timer like you.
Okay, fine. I won't say any more. Why don't you at least congratulate Jim in person? We can talk about this later.
What? Are you trying to act like his mom now, even though you're not? Jim probably doesn't even think of you as his mom.
I didn't know you thought that way. I've treated him as my own for 20 years.
It's the wife's job to take care of the child. Isn't it natural to raise your stepson? Don't be patronizing me now.
That's not important right now. I'm asking what you want to do for Jim.
I won't be seeing you anymore.
What?
It'll be weird. I'll celebrate with Jim after you move out. So, don't worry.
Never mind. Sorry, Jim. I called your father, but he's busy with work. Can we celebrate just the two of us?
It's fine, forget him. He's probably out drinking, right?
Oh, don't say that. Your father is working hard for us.
You don't have to say things like that anymore.
What?
Mom, you're too patient with him. You work too. So shouldn't you give yourself a break?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me.
He doesn't care about me. But I'm not at an age where I can't go against it anymore. I'm learning to not care about it anymore.
Still, he's your father. You have to take care of him.
Why do I have to care about someone who never cared about me? And take care of them just because we're related by blood?
You've proved your point. No wonder you were hired to work at a big company. Tonight is barbecue night.
My treat.
Why? We're celebrating for you.
We're celebrating for you, too.
What?
Are you still living at home? Move out already!
Have you even congratulated Jim yet?
Huh? I'll do that later. He doesn't need looking after anymore, so you're not needed. I'm marrying someone else, so I'm leaving you now.
That's great. Thank you.
What?
I've been wanting to get a divorce, so thanks for starting the process. I'm glad to hear you're marrying another woman, too.
What's up with you?
What should we do about the divorce papers? I'm moving out, but make sure you pay all the utility bills. Don't let the food go bad in the fridge, too.
I know that.
And the papers?
Fill them out and leave them. I'll turn them in later.
No, I can't do that.
What?
I don't want to leave anything unclear, and leaving the timing of the divorce up to you doesn't sit well with me. I'll have my attorney send them to your workplace.
What? Hold on. What are you talking about?
If you don't return them in time, you might get a visit from my attorney.
I said wait. What are you saying? What's going on?
Huh? What? You should be happy that your wife is thrilled about getting a divorce. And you're able to live with your new woman. What's not to get?
Of course I don't get it. What do you mean, attorney? That's the part I don't get.
I hired an attorney. I have to get a big compensation check from you.
Compensation?
Did you think you were just going to get a divorce when you were having an affair? I'm not backing down. At the least, I'll have you pay compensation money.
What do you mean by compensation? What the hell? I can give you a couple $100 to settle things. Don't hire an attorney. Don't make things so complicated.
A couple $100? All of the work that I've done amounts to just a couple $100?
What? Why are you getting so upset?
To get the maximum amount, I had my friend introduce me to a really good attorney.
What the maximum amount?
It looks like it's not going to be a couple $100. Plus, she's giving me a friends and family discount, so I'll be able to pay with the small amount of savings I have. I'll be able to bill you through the attorney fees along with the compensation money. So there'll be no problems.
There's a ton of problems. This is going way too fast. What's happening? When did you have time to prepare for all of this?
When I found out you were trying to get rid of me, I completely agreed with getting a divorce. But I will be claiming my rights. After all, I've been oppressed all this time as your wife.
You thought of all of this in this short period of time? But you still don't have any proof of the affair. You can't claim compensation money if you don't have proof.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, if you send an attorney to my workplace, I'll sue you for defamation.
Go right ahead. I'm saying all of this because I have proof.
Huh? You have proof?
Actually, Jim helped me.
What?
He's your son after all, so I didn't think he would help me. But it looks like blood doesn't matter if you care for them.
Wait a second. I can't wrap my head around this.
I've raised him since he was 2, so I guess he knows I love him.
What do you mean Jim helped you?
Your son has chosen your wife, the person who raised him. He helped me gather evidence, and recommended I get a divorce when he got a job.
What? Him? Why would he do that? He recommended getting a divorce?
Even to your own son, you were trash. So getting a divorce and compensation is best for me, he told me. I think so too, so that's what I'll do.
I can't believe Jim would do that. I feel so betrayed.
You're the one who's been betraying him all this time. Your son chose my side. He says he wants to cut all ties with you.
You're kidding! He's my son!
Then you should have acted like a father a little more. You didn't do anything for him growing up. You haven't done anything since elementary school.
That's not true. I paid his tuition.
But you said you couldn't pay all of it. So you worked hard for a scholarship to college. You really haven't thought about Jim, have you? It's a wonder you've lived this carefree all this time.
Don't say that.
But it's true.
It might be true, but I'm Jim's father. You can't just get rid of me.
Get rid of you? You wanted to get rid of me, right? Jim's caregiver became useless, right?
Yeah. Isn't Jim going to take care of me when I get old? Cutting ties with me when he doesn't need to be looked after anymore? Isn't that a little harsh?
Excuse me? Exactly what did you do to look after him? Do you even remember talking to him these past 6 months?
I've been a little busy recently.
What is the most useless employee of the month busy doing? Don't be dependent on your child when it suits you, you piece of trash.
Piece of trash? Don't talk to me like that.
Jim is an adult now, so he can make up his own mind. Instead of his father, who never cared for him, he chose his stepmother. It's not that strange, is it?
Then let's call off the divorce. Let's not do it. Let's just act like a couple.
What? You want me to stay with you for your retirement? You've always been a burden to me.
What? I was? Why?
But for the sake of Jim, I thought it would be better if we had double the income. So I was patient. To be honest, I'm really happy that Jim has my back about getting a divorce.
I didn't know you thought that way.
I don't want a selfish husband who only thinks about himself. Look forward to it, because I'm going to get that compensation money. Think long and hard about what you've done. Even though Jack was in a state of complete shock, he agreed to divorce Janet. Even Jim went with Janet. Jack, who was left behind, started living with his new girlfriend. But she started showing her true selfish personality, and Jack was disgusted. He decided to break up after being exhausted from her exploitation, and try to get back together with Janet, but was completely blocked by her after the compensation settlement. It seems he lost his whole family after being cut off by his own son. Jack realized that he was not needed by anybody, and is left to live the rest of his life alone. Janet was happy to be able to get rid of the burden that was her husband, and is still in touch with Jim, who lives nearby. She's living her best life alone. Even after that, she had a good relationship with Jim, who had a child a few years later, and Janet became a great-grandma. There's no need to say who is living a happier life, Janet or Jack.
Hey, you! About the proposal from the other day. It's not in the format I requested.
Hi, how are you?
What do you mean it's not in the format you requested?
What proposal are you talking about?
What? Can't you even understand English? That's why subcontractors like you are useless. You're so stupid and useless. You are also less valuable as a human being than I am when you say you work for me as a subcontractor.
I think it's a different issue now to criticize my personality as such.
I said proposal. It's the proposal you gave me the other day. What are you going to do with it? You and the proposal you submitted are useless.
I think I did it right.
Are you kidding me? I said that's wrong, so it's wrong. Are you going to argue with me, the person in charge of the company that is giving you the job? You are only a subcontractor. You're a lot older than me, aren't you? Aren't you frustrated that I, a younger man, said this to you?
That is not the case. I am using the proposal format you gave me, so I think there can be no mistake.
That's why you'll always be the one being used. You know what, dude? It's not enough to just do as you're told. You'll never get promoted if you keep on like that.
So, can you tell me specifically what needs to be fixed so that I can fix it?
Huh? You hear me out.
Oh, your story wasn't finished yet?
Take advantage of that format and improve it by yourself to make it better and easier to read. How long are you just going to sit around waiting for instructions?
Last time I made changes to the format, you got mad, didn't you? I am told that my predecessor also did so, and was harassed by you. So I thought for sure I should not change the format.
Huh? Now you blame others? You're as good as it gets. If I should change it, I will. If I make changes to make it easier to see, I will. Is that all right with you? That's not what I mean. Are you really that stupid? You have no comprehension whatsoever. Then give me specific instructions. Please provide your preferred format in specific examples. That way, it will be easier for me to do it. You are really just a man waiting for instructions. This is why subcontractors are useless. Pardon? I hate people who just wait for instructions. People like you can't think for themselves. I don't want to spend my precious time on those scum people. What does that mean? Don't you understand what I'm saying? You're too smart for your own good, aren't you? Well, that's why you can't work for a decent company. And keep working for such a small company until you reach that age. That is not what we are talking about. I just want to be sure because your arguments keep changing one after another. You're going to blame me now. You're a loser who can't get the job done, and I'm amazed at your guts to blame it on someone else. Don't ask for advice like it's the obvious thing to do. It is really tiring to deal with subcontractors who seem to hire idiots like you. I recommend you refrain from such comments which denigrate other people's character. That is a disgraceful behavior as an adult. Huh? You're annoying. Don't act like you're a big boss. I'm just telling you the truth. It's a lot of work when the client is incompetent like you. Yes, it is. Certainly, it is not good to just wait for instructions. You finally get it, too. What have you been listening to all this time? From the beginning, you just should have listened to me. Because I'm always right. Then I will stop waiting for your instructions. Now, may I tell you what I think? Huh? What's wrong with you all of a sudden? I must confess that the proposal format you were giving us was very difficult to read. So I made a different version. Huh? Why didn't you say that first? When my predecessor used it, you complained. And I am told that you tore it up in front of him. So this time, as you requested, I made it in its original format without changing anything. But yet you still complain. So can I ask you to look at the other version? Huh? Did you change that on your own? By the way, I had another person from your company check it and he raved that it was very easy to read. Did you show it to the other guys? I'm the manager. What the hell are you doing? Huh? Didn't you say you don't like people just waiting for instructions? No, well, that's true, but this is not the same thing. What's your point? Sure, I don't like people just waiting for instructions. But I hate those who take action without telling me even more. Huh, see? Why are you laughing? You're a subcontractor and you're ripping me off. You don't care what happens to the contract with my company. You're a subcontractor. Don't you dare disobey me. If you talk back to me, I will terminate our contract with your company. Okay, then the contract is canceled. Huh? The contract, or rather the contract with you, is terminated. What are you saying that doesn't make sense? What do you mean, a contract with me? The employment contract you have with the company. I am frankly disgusted by what you have said and done. Huh? You have no right to say this to me. What's your point? Enough mocking me. You are a subcontractor, loser. You have finally shown your true colors. Huh? I've heard that you've been getting unreasonably aggressive with people at other companies. Just because they're subcontractors. Huh? How the hell do you know that? I am the founder of this company. I am now running this company as the CEO. What? By the way, by this company, I mean the company you are working for. What are you talking about? I was working undercover at a subcontracting company to conduct an inspection.
I was determined to find out what was wrong with the company and fix it myself.
What? You're the president? Are you serious?
Honestly, I am totally shocked that someone like you exists.
Are you really the president?
Do you even remember what the president of your company looks like? Well, now that I'm undercover and doing a lot of outside work, my appearance may be quite different from before. Even if you're working for a subcontractor, your attitude is beyond rude.
No, that's not it. I just wanted to retrain guys who were on the take, who were subcontractors. It was not my intention to pick a fight with you, the president, or anything like that at all. This is a misunderstanding.
What misunderstanding? What does it mean to retrain a subcontractor? You had the right to do that? Did you have the right to reprimand the person for doing as you instructed?
No, I didn't.
See? And yet you mistakenly think you are a great man. How can you be so rude to an important business partner just because they are a subcontractor, and threaten to terminate the contract on your own? As an adult, or even as a human being, I think that's a terrible thing to do. Frankly, I have no idea what you want to do.
I apologize for everything. I did it to relieve stress. I didn't mean to offend you.
It's good to see you being that honest. But I don't intend to keep you employed any longer.
What? Does that mean I'm fired? Really?
How many subcontractors have you inconvenienced in this way?
Well, if you ask me how many, I don't think there are that many.
Then how many people? How many people have you harassed like this? You're the one who needs to use your brain and think a little.
Please don't talk like that. It's hard to be a middle manager too.
Now you're going to bicker and moan? Earlier you told me to stop waiting around for instructions, that I was useless, and that I was just a good-for-nothing. You've been talking a lot of crap, and now you're going to play the victim?
That is not my intention. This really is a misunderstanding. I take my job very seriously. Really, I was just being harsh with the subcontractors, for the best of my intentions.
Yes. No one asked you to do that. No one gave you those instructions. And you know you don't even have the right to do that in the first place.
You are right. I am really sorry.
So let me give you some instructions for your own sake, since you don't like people who just wait for instructions.
What? What do you mean?
You're fired. That is final.
Wait a minute. I don't want that. Please reconsider.
I have no plans to reconsider. But since I'm your friendly boss, let me give you one more instruction. Please fix that hard-to-see format before you leave.
That format? That's impossible.
What? Why is it impossible?
I hadn't made any proposals recently. I don't know how to do it because I always let my staff do it. Lately, all I've been doing was just checking them, so I didn't know how to do it.
Huh? Are you serious about that? Didn't you realize that was indeed not good as an employee? You can't even do your own paperwork. And all you did was complain to the subcontractors.
I didn't mean to complain.
Since the beginning of this year, I have not heard good things about my company from subcontractors. That is if you think about it when you become the manager of this department. And the manager deals with the subcontractors.
I don't think so. That would be a misunderstanding.
Are you going to pretend you didn't know? Now, just update the format and go away. Rather, if you can't do it, it doesn't matter.
No, I will. I will do it. Let me do it.
Wow, you have totally changed your personality. You change your attitude towards a person depending on their position. How could you become a section manager like that? You have no capacity to be in a management position.
Please don't say that. I will follow your instructions. I'll work out that format and remake it in some way. I think I can work it out if I ask the guys.
So you can't even make the format properly. You can't do it unless you ask someone, and someone tells you what to do.
No, that is not what I meant.
You said many times that you don't like people just waiting for instructions. But I wonder which one was the one who was actually just waiting for instructions.
I can't say anything more.
My only instruction to you is this. You are fired. Pack your stuff and get the hell out of the office. Ted got fired from his job. He said he didn't like people just waiting for instructions. In reality, however, Ted was not able to create a single document properly, let alone format a proposal. He cried to the president. His colleagues around him also didn't respect him. And no one tried to help him. His last-minute useless efforts and the flirtatious attempts to get away with it didn't work. Ted was fired and had to find a new job. He began job hunting. However, his bad reputation was already quite widespread in the industry. He was rejected by every company that had ties to his former employer. Finally, he began to reflect on his previous actions. But it was already too late.